probably where most people watch this, now that I think about it.
Hello.
Hello, YouTube.
Yeah, hello YouTube as well. I'm sorry for
Hello.
neglecting you for all this time.
Hello, Internet.
Yeah,
Come on,
You
please.
have been acknowledged.
Hello, person who printed out each frame of this stream and is using a flipbook to watch.
Hello, random
With
person.
no audio.
Well, they wouldn't be able to hear
random
me say it,
person
but you
from
know.
20 years from now that just found this video.
And it's now on some. It's now on some platform we have no comprehension of yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope that as they traverse the post-apocalyptic wasteland hunting cats, they are enjoying listening to the sound of us playing D&D in better times. And now,
Say better, but is it?
That's grim.
let's recap. Last week, we attended a parade. Everyone did so. There were some events thereof. Anything of note that anybody would like to mention that happened?
Yeah, I don't like the magistrate.
Oh, okay.
I want to say
Mm-hmm.
weird. Don't like him.
All right. Anything else from anyone else?
We had the scene with the weasel in the pocket.
That is true. Yep, there was a
Mhm.
weasel eating
Yeah.
nachos in a pocket. That was very cute.
Still is.
Yeah, I mean the I don't think so anymore, but was
No,
at the
not
time
anymore.
definitely. But yeah, we also had an altercation with some kind of a street preacher of some kind, who was extremely large and wearing very ornate armor that completely disguised his features.
A freaking dick.
I mean, I thought he was quite nice.
You would say that.
I would say that,
It was
and I did.
you inserting yourself into the world.
Yeah, it was just me. It was just me wishing that I could be my true height.
I mean, you're already tall. So.
Yeah, but not tall enough, Shelley. It's like rich
never be
people.
tall
They want
enough.
more money. They already have a ton. I got a lot of inches. I would like some more, please.
Yikes.
Yeah,
And the tall
yeah.
get taller.
Yeah, shorty.
So we begin with you guys awakening in your rooms at the dwarves' helm. Should set you back another couple of silver. I forget exactly how much. It is a reasonable establishment, and so yeah, 8 silver a night for this particular inn. Covered the first night by Carol. You'll have to cover yourselves for this night.
8 silver?
Mm-hmm. And you come down sort of, in drips and drabs, slowly gathering in the downstairs. Andrew, you discover the rest of your party here, and unless there's anything that anybody wants to do, Carol is about to arrive.
I don't think I have anything.
No breakfast conversations?
Oh, yeah. So, how's everybody feeling today? Better than yesterday?
I had an okay day. I've heard you 4 split and went your own way. Anything interesting happened?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we met this kind of preacher guy, super dickish.
Don't
Thought
like
that
him.
respect was just, nothing. Shouldn't be used. Stupid people. Anyways, I don't know. He kind of spooked all the others. Not me. I'm cool, but he kind of spooked all the others. So
I've heard about this. People said he caused people to have headaches. Or was it just, as you said, spooking people?
well, I don't know if they had headaches. Did you guys have headaches?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, my medicine check was really bad last time, so I didn't notice.
I think you could have had a headache yourself and not noticed with that medicine check.
Yikes.
Probably. It was bad, even though I have +8 in medicine. Yeah, and I think mostly spooked. I mean, Esther was pretty out of it, actually. And also, Steve was also pretty out of it. Kept staring into his books and scrolls and saying the same thing over and over again. Not perfectly.
Azur's gonna
Look.
lean in and whisper to shit, I forgot your name. Andrew. Yeah, whisper in his ear. Knowledge keeps you safe.
I think my favorite thing is that Adzar's getting it wrong. You know, I think that might be my favorite thing about this whole thing. You can get brainwashed and still mess it up.
So Andrew looks at you with confusion and just slowly nods, as if you've heard a madman. Have you noticed anything about him other than just causing the head? Did he just leave and you let him go, or what's the matter with him?
With who exactly? Sorry.
The preacher.
Oh, yeah. We just. Like, he was such a dickon when everybody came to after being really weird there for a minute and not saying anything. We just left. Because I didn't want to be around that guy anymore.
I remember being a weasel in the pocket, and then I remember being on the floor. That's myself, not a weasel.
Yeah.
Whatever the case is, whoever he was, it seems to. Whatever he did seemed to have been leaving like traces of magic just on that street. I was also checking that place with Carol.
Oh,
Something is unusual about this.
magic.
Andrew nods.
Like he did a spell or something.
Yes, that's magic. It appears to be transmutation in nature. The ones
Enchantment.
that mostly. Oh, sorry, yeah, enchantment in nature. The ones that like to change people's minds.
On our friends here, or just wherever he was, or what exactly? Where how
It
where did you get that from?
On the street, like we've heard people say he smashed his shield to the ground. Where I checked the location with Carol and saw traces of magic. It appears to be in a cone shape of some description, but it quickly faded out. After which,
Oh, yeah, he
Sounds
smashed
like
his shield down. Interesting. He did that with us too, but he didn't seem to really know what he was doing. Or maybe he's just really good at lying, which probably it's that. I don't like that. Is anybody from around here? No, I've asked this before. Is anybody familiar with Semka? The god that he worships, I mean.
not me at least.
I mean,
If anyone wants to make a religion check, feel free to do so.
Would I even know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're from another plane, not another universe. Like God's kind of transcend the prime material thing, you know. It's sort of on the job description.
Fine.
on the job description. Well, not me.
That's an Arcana check.
Oh, whoops.
Are not the gods arcane in nature?
Nope.
It depends on the god.
Oh,
There you
Oh,
go.
well, there you
Arcane,
go.
arcane as in Latin for mysterious? I would argue that they are, but fair dues.
Okay, so what did everybody except Adzar get?
12.
oh god.
I didn't roll, but if I had, my trial roll was a natural 1, so.
So you did roll, but you got a roll.
I saw that die. I know I rolled all my dice, but the first die that I rolled was a
Ooh.
natural.
Savage. Anybody else?
Got a
roll?
15.
You got a 15. All right. With the 15, Andrew, you're aware that Semka is a god that is almost contracts out to a lot of other gods in terms of like one of the things that they're sort of very famous for is providing protection to temples, no matter whose god it is, and that kind of thing. Like the concept of sanctuary is very strong. So like gargoyles and that kind of thing, those are all the sort of creations of Semka to watch over places. And any kind of like protection on a temple or something is probably a joint effort between divine magic of the god in question and also Semka. With the natural 20, Adzar, as the word Semka rings through your mind and you hear knowing makes you safe in your head, the answers just fall upon you. And you know that Semka is about protection. It's about looking out for people. It's about making sure that you're aware of, what's going on. And you realize as all of this information falls to your mind that this is the exact same things you were hearing yesterday, but it's word perfect as you heard it yesterday. Like it's emblazoned on your mind.
I will convey that to the party. I can't repeat what you said.
Yeah, no, I can't repeat what I said either. Like we could go and pull up the VOD and just listen to it, but
Well, that's definitely concerning. Are you concerned? I'm a little bit concerned.
What type of alignment is the god?
Semka's a member of the creation pantheon. So
Alright.
one of the quote unquote good guys.
Well, what I'm interested in is they called themselves the Reclaimed of Semka. Does just every follower of Semka call themselves the Reclaimed because of, just how they work? Or
As
are they like
Featherin
the
says that,
smaller-
as your mind immediately says no. And it feels like a thought that you've had before that you don't remember ever having before.
What?
Yeah, right? Super weird. So it's like you're remembering something that you've never known.
Okay.
And you're aware of the Guardians of Semka. And you're also aware of... Sorry, 1 second. I have the wrong notes page open.
Professional stream, everyone.
Yeah,
This was-
fantastic. Yeah, we're doing very well with the production here. Honestly, this is already going way smoother than either of the two tournaments I broadcast in the past 2 days, so I'm quite happy with it all. No, this one. The Heldrun is another sect of Semka. Heldrun School of Thought is often how it's referred to. And you know that those are both wrong and they need to be destroyed and they should not be allowed to exist. And you know that with like certainty.
Like everything.
Yeah, I mean everything to do with Semka is certain because it's all about knowing.
Well, I'm even more concerned now for you, Asda.
Hold on. And what was that spelling again? What was the sect?
The Heldrun, it is Heldron.
Okay. Not sext.
No. That's
Semka all the time.
that's an abbreviation for a navigation tool, everybody.
What,
yeah,
sextant?
that's it.
Look, sextants are very important.
I'm just saying that that's an inappropriate use of sending, all right?
What? An optical navigation tool?
Yeah, that's why it's an inappropriate. Like, how would you even like? You're just gonna describe it? You can't. It makes no sense.
In 25 words or less, even. Like, it's terrible.
All right. So, as you guys are having this conversation, Carol sort of stumps in and hangs his helmet up on a hook and trots over to the table and just drops a big bag of gold onto the table. 250 gold is there for grabs.
What did we say how much we would get?
It was 50.
50 gold each. Great. Oh, thank you, Kara. How was your day yesterday? All good? Any?
Aye,
Yeah.
apart from the possible, incursion into people's minds. Have you told him about it, lad?
Andrew nods.
Yeah, we kind of had the same. I mean,
What do
it
you
was happening
mean?
to us? I think it was happening to us. Well, it didn't happen to me, but it happened to the rest of them. We talked to this. What was his name? Leon. Something.
Leon, eh?
Yeah, Leon, something like that. And he was like, "Oh, Semka, the reclaimed, knowing is above all else, and also you all suck if you, and I don't respect you." And then kind of smashed his shield down, and really, everybody was really out of it. Like listening to his words, and then suddenly not saying anything, and seemed really in deep thought. And I think it. Bless you.
Excuse me. Didn't have time to hit a mute there, sorry.
I think it hit Alyssa the most hard. She seemed very distraught. She still does.
I'm sorry, what?
She still seems very distraught.
Are you still distraught there, Alism?
Listen just shrinks.
I'll take that as a yes. Alright then, well we're gonna have to figure out what's going on with that. I've been away down to the Countess's office up on the seat this morning and spoken to someone, and we've got the sort of initial look around contract. Phoenix Watch will give us a hand if we need it for anything specific, as long as we can justify it. That's if you're game, of course. I mean, I assume you all want some more gold, eh?
I'm always all for gold, but also I just don't really like that guy, and I don't know what's going on, and I don't like him being here. So I'd like to change that.
Alright, so you'll do it for free. How about the rest of you?
I would like to help, yes. As Andrew nods.
Alright.
I would like some payment.
Well,
Just
name your
careful.
price.
Shuffle over
It's
to
whatever
Valran.
the others have.
What about you? Looking at Azza.
He just nods.
Alright, grand. And how much do you want?
Do you have any sort of budget, or should we just name a
Well, why don't you name a price and then we'll dance around a little bit before I decide to pay you what I already decided.
2,000 gold.
Fuck off!
You
Does
said I should name a
150
price.
each sound okay?
Aye, that sounds grand.
What did you have in mind?
150.
Right.
You can make an insight check if you want.
Yeah, I would. Not good. Inside. 11.
11. I'll tell you what, I'll roll it just to see. But, oh, no, he rolled terribly. So, you can quite clearly tell that was not the number that he had in mind. And you even get an indication
Liar.
of maybe it's less than half what he had in mind.
Oh! Caro, you liar! You had probably like 500 in mind, isn't that right?
Aye, well, I mean, to be fair, I wasn't, completely open about this, but it's probably going to take more than, a day. So, if you're in for this, there's contracts and whatnot. I've got him here, and he pulls up a satchel and starts handing out scrolls.
Which Andrew will take one and read thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
Very official.
Make an intelligence check.
A 2.
This is a lot of words, and you've seen a lot of these words before, but you're not entirely sure of how they're being used in this context. There seems to be a lot of quadruple, pentuple negatives going on. It's very difficult to extract exactly which clauses are referring to which. It's a dense legal document.
So it's written in legalese.
Yeah. That's it. The intelligence check was to translate.
Okay. Would my noble background help me with this?
Sure, you can have advantage.
Hey. And it's straightened.
Sorry?
And it's straightened.
Yeah, straightened.
Okay. That's an 18.
An 18. Not bad. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty standard document. It's the amount is not specified. That is going to be in an accompanying codicil, which you can actually see Carol filling it out as you're all studiously poring over. Some of you with a finger maybe following the words. And that when the codicil joins the document, it is complete, and it appears to be for an unspecified amount of time or until released by the client. You are required to pursue this job.
Okay, and nothing weird like requiring body parts as insurance, that the contract's being kept.
No, nothing too out of the ordinary. Just a lot of it's very much on the side of the person who wrote the contract, but that's contracts.
Yes, and it's not it, and it's not dark fake levels of weird contract.
No.
Devil's level of weird
No.
contract.
This is it's a civil document. It's got an official seal on it.
Okay. This seems very generous compared to other documents I've seen of the type.
Is that so?
Yes, you do not require hair or fingernails as insurance.
No, we don't. Is that a common thing where you're from?
It's pretty standard.
Where are you from?
Pretty late, I told you.
Aye, but where is that?
Sort of near Tara, I think. It's kind of difficult to explain.
Is there any chance you could, put it in a relative spot, relative to maybe this city? Like how many miles away is it? Or days of travel? Or weeks by boat? Or, flying as an eagle or whatever?
I think it took me about a month to get there. It kind of blurred. I spent a lot of time with Squirrel.
You spent a lot of time what?
A squirrel.
Do squirrels travel long distances faster than, your normal form?
I'm pretty sure not.
Squirrels are largely sedentary animals.
Right. Anyway. So, I think we're all agreed then. 400 gold, eh?
Azra nods.
Yeah, but that sounds good.
Alright, and obviously the faster you work, the quicker you get the money, quicker you can move on to doing other things that make money, so it's in all of our interest to get this wrapped up and sorted soon as, alright? And Steve looks up from his contract and says...
Nothing.
As he's
Nothing 'cause
muted.
He's muted.
he's cross-referencing specific passages with passages from his scrolls, trying to figure out
He's got
exactly...
the text marker in his trunk.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's very handy having a trunk for this, because you can sort of like keep your place on the page while also referring to a different scroll.
Oh wow, that is convenient.
Still too busy reading.
I kind of want a trunk now just for that.
I mean, I wanted a trunk anyway because my nose is already huge. It might as well be the full thing.
You might as well enjoy the benefits.
I've got all the downsides right now, none of the benefits. So.
Yeah, like can we write on the keyboard and drink a cup of tea at the same time?
I don't think the usual method that elephants used to drink would work with tea. I think that would be quite tickly.
I think that would be rather inconvenient. Yes.
Like you really don't want to get that wrong with when you take a sip of your tea too soon. You really do.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh yeah,
The
That's a
tongue.
searing
But you-
sensation.
But you can hold the teacup with your trunk.
That is true.
Like, gotta think logically here.
All right, so Alex, just catch you
Yes.
up. You guys have just been having breakfast. You've swapped a bit of information back and forth. Andrew revealed that there was a shade of some magic left behind in what appears to be the same spot that you guys were at when the shield got slammed down. And Carol has said that he's secured the contract to sort of look into this on behalf of Countess Mordelin, and has offered up contracts for pursuing this job for 400 gold payment on completion, and there's no sort of time scales on that. So quicker you get it done, the sooner you get paid.
Also, he doesn't require fingernails as insurance, which I was very concerned about when I mentioned.
What was considered completion of the contract? Like in the contract itself? Is there
In the
anything
contract, it was
specific?
when the client says it is.
Ah, okay.
So it's an open clause.
It's quite an open contract in terms of your guys' liability, yes.
Intrinsically, Steve was not like this.
Sure. What would
it is-
Steve do?
Could I get an amendment to the contract here? And now, I take issue with just the idea of completion is not very solid. You see, and we could be indentured to your service for an unknown amount of time. Could you specify what completing the investigation would mean in
Well,
writing?
It wasn't me that wrote up the contracts. I'm a pretty au fait with the old legalese. And I'll admit that when I first saw one of these myself, I was a little bit, hold your horses. Perhaps we need to, delineate this a little bit more, put some finer detail in the points and the specifics. But honestly, I needed the cash, so I took it anyway. And honestly, Countess Mordelin's been pretty upfront. I mean, I haven't spoken to her myself, of course, but, it's always been handled pretty swiftly. And I gotta say, don't have to wait the usual civic timescales for payment either. I swear she covers half of this out of her own pocket.
Also, there doesn't seem to be any insurance on her part that we won't simply run.
Well, other than the fact that, you don't get paid.
Yes, but there is no sort of magic tracking or curses involved, so you could just leave.
Of course.
If-
I mean, it's a choice. You don't have to sign the fucking thing. If you don't want to do it, just say. We're not taking you into slavery or nothing. We're just trying to give you a bit of, something to do for the next couple of days. Try and figure out what's wrong with your pal here and get paid for it at the same time.
I guess it would be good to investigate, as you would say, knowing keeps you safe.
Knowing keeps you safe.
Oh, you
sense.
didn't tell me there was two of them. Looking at Featherin.
It's all of that Damn, that's the bad part.
Allison looks visibly uncomfortable as that statement is uttered.
Oh, Christ.
Maybe we should try to see a priest before.
I was just about to say the same thing. I know just the chap.
Perfect.
Well, I say chap. It's complicated. And,
I don't think I like
Gender is
your
pretty
priests.
complicated.
well, how do you know? You've never met one.
I met the one, didn't go very well.
Which one?
The armored one with the big shield.
Oh, he's not my priest, though, is he?
That was a douchebag. That's a difference.
Aye, well, I mean, no, I mean, I've known this one for years, all right. I mean, that's you got no worries there. Well, I know who's who in this city when we need to get stuff done, all right. So you know, pay attention to that. I'm gonna have a wee chat with you know, what is her name? I have forgotten her name. This is the worst. Brain, please. I'll just have to check in with Salosa and let her know that I won't be around for a couple of days while we get this sorted out. And then we're going to head over to the far side of Taralid. Up to the Templum Statara so we can have a chat with Madan. Because I think they're easily the best with the, you know, healing and whatnot in the city.
That sounds very good.
All right, well, finish up your breakfast. I'll chat to Salusa and just yell me when you're ready to leave.
All right, thank you, Caro.
Oh, you're welcome. He looks genuinely taken aback that somebody thanked him and then walks away.
Quick DM question.
Yes.
Because I can't remember. Was it knowing keeps you safe or knowledge keeps you safe?
Knowing keeps you safe, but Adza has been missaying it as knowledge keeps you safe the entire time, which I think is just very on brand.
I'm still confused. Which was it now?
Knowing keeps you safe
Alright.
is the
Knowing
actual phrase.
keeps you
Knowledge
safe.
is bad.
That's a different cult, guys. Different cult.
So having accidentally said the thing,
Yeah.
probably incorrectly or correctly, I'm not sure.
No,
which
you
way
said it
was.
correctly, actually.
I've noticed that, and I'm gonna be going back to like all of my books, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna be obsessing over why I can't get it out of my head, and it's gonna be quite erratic as well. So
Yeah, sure.
I've got a load of scrolls out, guys, and just there's scrolls now everywhere, and I'm just sifting through them like crazy. Like I'm using my trunk, everything, like going absolutely wild here because I do not know what's going on in my head. It's never happened before, and I'm yeah.
If I have my detect magic up, do they seem to be influenced by magic, or is it just something that there are in like sort of state?
There's no. I mean, other than any magical items they happen to have on them, there is no magical essence around them.
All right. Just checking.
Alison probably has some, you know, flowers with residue of magic adorning her in various places.
Yeah, also, one would not think that flowers and moss would grow on a table. There now is.
But there are, yeah.
Yeah. One would not think that would be the case, but that's what happens when you have a rather stressed out and uncomfortable druid sitting there.
All right. So, what do you guys want to do? You ready to go?
Finish breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, finish breakfast and go to Carol.
All right. You yell for Carol. You're like, all right, ready to go. And you see him just sort of give a little as he's walking out. Oh, come on then, catch up.
Yeah. Let's go.
Aye, it's gonna take a minute to get around there. We're going on to the far side of Taralid, so if you give me 1 second while I get Roll20 back up, I'll move this here arrow so that you can see where we're going.
Yeah, very good.
There you go.
It was
Alright.
jarring.
I bet it was.
That was great.
Does anyone need a ride?
So I think you know what we're gonna do. We're gonna go down and we're gonna pick up one of the canal boats, and we'll go around the far side under the Great Arch and come up on the bank on the opposite side of Stonespire. So it'll be a little bit of an interesting journey for you if you haven't been through the gorge already.
Don't
So
think I have.
where are we heading off exactly to?
I told you the Templum Statera.
Oh, the temple itself. Yeah.
So we need to have a chat with Madan.
Tara, can I ask you a question?
Aye.
You seem to know the Countess Mauve, or whatever her name was.
Magdalene. I mean, I don't know her personally, like I say, but I've been sort of, working for her on and off for, these past 20 years.
Oh, 20 years.
Aye,
And
nearly
you've
the
never
whole
met her
time.
Personally,
No.
you just said that you were with her this morning.
No, I said I went up to her office. And I specifically
Oh.
said I didn't see her. I spoke to, some of her people and we got the contract sorted out and whatnot.
I see. So her office, but not her inside her office. I see.
Yeah, aye.
But you seem to, know your way around these parts and
Aye.
know other people. And I couldn't help but notice a symbol of Semka on the Countess.
All
Is she
right.
one of the reclaimed?
I
Or
don't
is
know.
she just... Well, it's definitely worrying me that someone who's worshipping the same god has now sent us to, investigate a sect which they might be part of.
Well, that is somewhat concerning, isn't it? But I mean, I've read that contract very carefully, and I didn't see anywhere where it said we couldn't say it was her.
Might be a trap.
It's also very true, but yes, it might just be a trap.
Aye, it might be, but I mean, they gave me the 250 gold for yesterday's job. It seems weird to pay the people that you're trapping.
If they intend to kill us, they could just take the gold back off us.
Well, not if we've spent it. I can turn 250 gold into a lot of beer really quickly. And then I can turn it into urine very rapidly afterwards as well.
I suppose.
Nobody's taking my gold off my corpse,
No, I don't think that is I don't think that is a huge concern for the Countess.
Aye, but it just seems like people who have tend to, hold on tight.
Unless there's something they want.
Well,
People are willing to
Anyway.
sacrifice a lot for.
Well, has it occurred that maybe what they want is to, find this guy, and if the Countess is into, Simca and whatnot, maybe that's why.
Perhaps.
We'll see. once
Can't
we
have
get to
people-
the-
Well, you can't have people tarnishing their reputation going around and casting, mind control spells or whatever the fuck it was.
true. Or she might want to use him, or she might want to tell him that he should be a little bit less obvious the next time. All of which is concerning me. We should definitely talk to her. Also, Trip, you're really, really silent.
Oh, am I? My apologies. See if I can sum myself up.
I turned him up a lot, actually, so
Hello?
He-
at 178% for me.
Ooh, jeez.
At the full 102%, 200% for me.
Oh, okay. I'll
Which is why I
try to
keep
fix that
talking
on my
over
end.
you.
No worries. So, Carol leads you all out and down to the canal bank, and you go down some steps, and there's a few boats moored up, and he says hi to one of the guys, but the guy he says hi to isn't at the front of the queue, so he gets the one at the front of the queue who doesn't appear to be somebody he knows. And Carol's just kind of idly chatting away. You know, oh, did you go to the parade yesterday? See anything interesting? You know, how'd you like the stands and whatnot? Oh, we were all there. You know, it was it's crazy.
I
You know, all
wanted the
kinds
horse
of.
riding thing.
Well, good for you.
Yes, I won nachos. It was really good.
You mean the one for the kids?
Nobody told me it was just for kids.
Well, I don't think it's just for kids, but I mean, I feel like it's maybe assumed.
Why would you assume that? Do you not have fun?
You know,
doing
I'm
that?
questioning it myself now, but I've honestly never had any interest in, running. So, not really my bag.
Well, but if you run fast enough and do it well enough, you get, a food coupon that you could turn into food or presumably beer.
I think I've got a disadvantage in terms of leg length.
Nonsense.
All right, well, one day maybe. I mean, I'll give it a go. I don't want to be that guy who's just closed-minded and seeing it shite without trying it himself. But I just felt like, possibly not really, my deal necessarily. Says Carol, who is sat in the middle of this boat, like being very careful not to move to either side. And being very careful to counterbalance Steve as much as possible.
Oh no. Wrong move and you're all flushed.
Yeah, this guy is like, there's two guys at the back. Because when they saw the lockdown, another one jumped on and they're both just...
I imagine now that the boat is uncomfortable. The waterline is uncomfortably close to the edge.
It's not too bad. But it's definitely not the most. They're earning their fare on this one. And Carol's called out that you're heading to the Farrelid Gorge point, the sort of mooring point in the Farrelid Gorge. So you're Tarrelid. Sorry, not Farrelid. So you're heading all the way along sort of this. So you would have started about here. So you're taking this kind of path, and all the way up to about there. And as you go along the banks of Stonespire, which is this pink bit here, it's absolutely amazing. Just the sheer scale of it. It slopes up at probably 25% gradient, going up 1 meter for every 4 across. And from point to from where Tarrelid starts to the tip of Stonespire, it's got to be about 1,000, maybe 1,500 feet. So this thing is at the highest point, it's a good 400 feet above the surface of the surrounding landscape. And as you get closer along, you get to sort of Wildcliff, which then towers over even higher than that. In a lot of cases, it's a very sheer cliff all along the edge here. It's just a very sheer cliff, like somebody just cut away the land, and that's going very high, and you can see that continuing to slope up, and there's it's somewhat mountainous off to the right hand side of the map there. And then you enter the gorge, and you're going underneath the large arch that's just here that connects the 2 points. That's the only point that Wildcliff connects to Jotlaranda, is that arch. It must be magically maintained. Looking at it, it has to be. There's no way it could stay up there by itself like that either. It just looks way too precarious. And as you're going underneath the arch, Carl says, "Aye, the scope's something, right? You can see the sort of steps going up into it. Actually, more steps on that arch than there are going from Maranao up into Stonespire."
That's really high.
Aye, it is.
Is that the only way across?
Aye. Well, unless you want to go the long way, but that's not a journey anyone would recommend.
Why not?
Well, so there's somewhat of an enchantment along the cliff edge, eh?
Oh.
There's a lot of a lot of stuff that you maybe don't want, living right next to a city normally. On the other up on Wildcliff, all kinds of things. The magical school mostly keeps it in check,
So like werewolves and
Monsters?
other kinds of monsters. Nothing that
I
can
mean, I
fly.
don't know specifics, It's not really. I'm more of an urban guy,
Mm.
It's too far from the bear.
Well, if we want to fix our friends, we should go there instead of bickering,
Hey, what?
Well, we should go there if we are to fix our friends, no? Instead of just bickering about the height and the problem.
Oh no, we're on the water.
We're on a
underneath
boat,
the
lad.
whole thing.
Oh, I thought you were talking about going. Never mind.
No. We're on a
I
boat.
got
We're just
very
chatting away
high
about the
up.
landscape as it goes by. Come on, pay attention. Come on. Don't worry about it, man. It happens all the time. Like your attention slips and suddenly the scene changes and you didn't notice and you're like, oh yeah, we're still in the bar. It's like, no, there's a dragon. It's about to eat. Roll initiative, goddammit.
And I take a sip
Worst
of
I've
my
done
tea.
was having literally every player in the party wait for the other players outside the bar.
Everyone meets outside the bar because nobody went in the bar because it was too
No,
awkward.
they were in the bar. They agreed to go. They agreed to do things out to go on adventure outside the bar, and they all independently left the bar to wait for the others.
Yeah.
And spent like 20 minutes trying to wrangle all of them to understand that you are all outside the bar, awkwardly standing and waiting for each other.
You are ready to leave. At that point, I'm just like, and so you travel to the next place and just leave them to, So the boat makes landing at this sort of, almost like ferry station, I guess. I picture these boats, by the way, as like just larger Venetian canal boats, like the gondolas. Just larger versions of those, capable of carrying the larger folk and goods and whatnot, and it appears to be the main form of public transport. There's quite a few of them going back and forth all the time. And you make landfall, and Carol leads you to this large building. Sorry, not a large building, a small, quite nondescript building. In order to get up there, there's a lot of steps. You guys all want to make a constitution check for me.
Oh god.
A check or a save?
Check.
A 12.
A 5.
19.
A 4.
Well, some of you do
7.
fine with the stairs, and others are really wishing there were no stairs.
I'll just look back at everyone and say, do you need a ride up?
Yes,
Oh
please.
no, I'm fine.
Knowledge keeps you safe.
Well, he definitely needs one.
Oh,
Carol
shit.
looks at you with a worried expression and just says, aye, lad, that it does. We're going to keep you safe.
Yeah.
I will turn into a brown bear to give people a ride.
Oh yes, thank you very much.
I'd like to imagine that Steve is just taking like 4 steps total. Just the whole thing is just 4.
Four single steps, and I'm out.
Well, I mean, you're looking at a sort of 400-foot height that you're going up these steps for. It's not a short journey. Carol makes short work of it as well. He doesn't seem fussed at all. Clearly having made the journey before. He's like, I know it seems inconvenient with all the stairs, but trust me, it's better than going the other way.
I just had way too much breakfast.
And
I think
The
this.
bear nuzzles you.
I feel a little bit sick.
So he leads you up to this small nondescript building that's at the top of this cliff. It's on an outcrop, and because of the way the land all slopes towards this point here, but it's also sloping towards like this kind of area. So this point is the highest point of this whole area, this corner where you are. And there's an outcropping that kind of sticks out of a cliff. The land transition, like it's very much town in this red area here, as you can see where I'm drawing. Stone Spire, this whole section appears to have nothing. It's just barren. Just barren rocks and steps going up to this this high point at the far end. This high point, by the way, being about the same height as this one. So you've got this outcropping that you're going up to. There's a small nondescript building that's on top of it, and it has a sort of semicircular wall that kind of follows the curvature of this outcropping and has windows looking out across the whole of the city. And there's a path that leads up round the back. Carol just stumps off ahead, trusting you guys to follow him. The imagery and iconography that you see around this temple is very nature-inspired. There's lots of cycle of life references. There are storyboard panels along the outside of the temple, sort of mosaic tile type things that appear to be, maybe parables or something, some kind of reference to something that is important to the religion. And when you get inside, there's no area for services. There aren't like pews or seats or anything like that. There's just this sort of open space in the center with a few work tables and various documents on them, and then these open alcoves that are kind of semi-private that go along the line of the semicircle, and that's where the windows open into, as these little alcoves. Several of them have different forms of apparatus sort of alongside the wall. There's like a couple of cans and a plank in one of them. Another one's got like a large ball object. A third has a sort of like a thin plank of wood that's got T shapes at the bottom of it to sort of hold it so it's edge up. And most of the alcoves look over the city through the windows, but a couple at the edges have hooks which have artworks hanging on them. And Carol leads you all inside and sort of looks around and goes, "Madame?" "Yes?" We've got a few cases of potential mind shenanigans. And this humanoid figure comes out, sort of not that much taller than Carol, very fluid, hard to tell, in terms of both race, gender, like just very much a hard read in every sense. This black hair is braided in a very complex sort of pattern that appears to be symmetrical, but on closer inspection, if you took that extra look, you'd see that there in some places it alternates which side the sort of braid follows in. They smile seeing Carol and says, "Mind control, eh? Well, let's see what we can do about it."
Well.
"Tell me all, Carol, tell me all." And Carol fills in Madan as to the whole situation. And they look at Adzar and say, "So, tell me, what is it about knowing that makes you safe?"
He's gonna like step up, give like a really nice friendly smile,
Mm-hmm.
and like gesture like he's about to explain something.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge keeps you safe.
I see. Well, this does look kind of interesting. Have any of you been underground recently?
No, but we have been to the parade and talked to Blimey, I forgot his name.
Yes, Carol
Leon
just told me
something.
all of that. Leon
Oh,
or whatever it was.
underground. Yes. Underground. No. Have I been underground? I mean, we fought some corpses. Does that count?
Were you underground when you were doing it?
No, but the corpses were underground before they came up again.
How far?
Like 6 feet.
So like normal grave height? No, I think that's. I think you're probably all right then.
I
Interesting.
think it's safe to assume none of us have been underground recently.
Hmm.
Why is that important?
Well,
What was
last
it
time I
about?
saw something quite like this. It was a mind flare that had caused it.
Mm.
Do
If
I know what a mind flayer is?
you guys can make Arcana or Nature checks. Oh, a history
Natural
as well, to be honest. I mean, there's a few different ways you could have heard of mind flares. Or
I got
illithid.
a
20.
7.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Which, what did you say? Arcana or what? Or what?
I mean, Arcana, history, or nature. You tell me which one.
Got a 18
It
history.
doesn't matter. 22.
22. Which one, though?
All of them. All of them is +2.
Yeah, but I'm asking you to pick one. Select one, because
Oh,
there's
I
different
see.
information depending on...
It's, what was it? Account history.
Okay, so we've got 2 history checks, one at 22 and one at 18. Anyone else roll?
I rolled a nature for 7.
Mm-hmm. Alex?
I rolled history 11.
All right. Is Andrew rolling?
I did.
Oh, sorry, Adzar, I meant.
No, I'm good.
The other character that begins with A. All right, so with the 2 with the good history checks, you're aware that illithid is another name for mind flares. They're well known in the Underdark, tend to be very deep. And yeah, I mean, there's just reports of, like people that bump into them tend to end up killing each other with no real explanation for it, or are just like raving madmen that follow weird patterns of behavior for the rest of their life if they happen to survive and escape.
Any cure?
Yes, there is, but it requires ingredients that I don't keep to hand. They don't last long after you pick them, and there's no real way to preserve them. And they also only grow in one area that's been touched by ancient magic. Well, one area near here. I'm sure there's plenty of other places, but yeah, so you'd have to go onto Wildcliff to find it.
Oh, that's the one with the all the bad stuff. Right.
Well, bad stuff is it provides balance to the city.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm actually really excited.
I will stop trying to convince you to go then.
Yes. Oh, I really want to go. I want to know what's over there.
Okay.
What are we to look for exactly then?
Well, so what you're going to be looking for a herb. It's called Villebloma naturana.
And how is this herb looking like so we know exactly instead of
It would
just
look like
picking any-
this, and minor illusions, a plant that's quite distinctive.
Do I think I could just rootcraft it, or would that just be too easy?
You can certainly try.
Okay. I mean, not right now because I'm a bear, but
Well, yeah, I mean, but you can certainly try. Are you just waiting outside, by the way?
no, I followed in.
Okay, no worries.
There
Madan
is
took it in
a
their
bear-
stride.
Yeah, there is a bear in this church.
Yeah, no.
I just want to point that out.
Madan looks like there's very little that can take them by surprise.
That's
I
good
like
to
that.
know.
When I first used the wild flip, I'm going to milk it for all it's worth.
Feathering, could you make a wisdom saving throw, please?
Wisdom saving throw 19.
Good to know. Thank you.
But
Don't be too worried about that.
My favorite thing, guys. My favorite thing.
I bet there's no reason for that save either. You're just doing that to fuck with
Perfectly
us.
I mean,
fine.
it might very well just be own fucking with us.
We'll never know.
All right. So,
Or it could be a
You
sky.
might
Who
somewhat,
knows?
but-
Madan says that they need a few minutes. I just need to collect a few things that might be helpful for you. And they sort of go down this spiral staircase in the corner into a lower level. And you guys are sort of left for a moment to just in the temple, looking around awkwardly.
I want to look around more at the what kind of temple this is. Which
Make a
deity?
religion check.
I'll just have a sit down and smell around, see if there's any weird smells in there.
16.
Azur's gonna just look around and make notes.
Andrew would simply stand and listen for the atmosphere, just enjoying it for now.
Are there any weird smells in here?
Sorry, what was Andrew doing?
Oh, just mostly standing, appreciating the atmospheres.
Make a perception
listening.
check.
Sure. 13.
13. Something catches your eye out of the corner. There's a symbol carved into the center of the floor. It was kind of hidden because these sort of three tables, they're kind of in this loose, just sort of not quite triangle shape, but they're just sort of where it was convenient. And there's the symbol it's sort of in the middle of the three of them. And as you're looking at it, your vision kind of falls away from the rest of the world. It's just the symbol there. And then the symbol falls away as well. And there's just this kind of like grayness around you, all around you. And you can't move or speak and you can't even breathe. It's just gray. And there's a moment of panic. And then you see this glowing figure floating through the gray towards you. These wings furled to 2 points above their shoulders. It appears you're looking at an angel. They are holding a slate, and they write a message upon it, the same script that you have seen time and time again. I am Trinsophius. The face is glowing too brightly to make out the features, but you can tell they smile. The words on the slate fall away, the chalk expelled suddenly from the surface and scattering to nothing. The figure writes a new sentence. You're in our temple. This bodes well for your future. The chalk ejects once more, the effect rippling backwards this time, shattering everything to blackness, very sharp and sudden and different to the first time. And you hear a faint laugh and then a voice. Hello? A pause. Your eyes are slowly adjusting to the blackness. It appears a humanoid is silhouetted against the black, the barest difference in shade making the outline noticeable. Your connection to your celestial friend is flimsy. They have nothing more to offer you. They can barely communicate with you. The outline shifts, and there's the sound of fingers snapping. A carpet unrolls under your feet, and two large winged armchairs appear in front of the hearth of a fireplace, providing this warm glow. Facing away from you, you just catch the merest glimpse of brown hair as the figure sinks into an armchair obscured from you the whole time other than that momentary glimpse of the hair. So, question is, do you want to risk that connection being severed when you least expect it? When you're relying on whatever it is that those paltry gifts afford you? The vision starts to fade halfway through that sentence, and it's almost silent as it ends. And now you're in a forest clearing. A deer is nuzzling at the forest floor just a meter in front of you. It looks up at you, its baleful eye boring into your very soul for just a moment, before it winks. And you trip over something, then you need to make a dex save.
Oh no. A 12.
Yep, you catch yourself on a table, don't fall. People might have noticed that you tripped a little there. You're back in the room as if nothing had changed, and it appears maybe 10 seconds has passed.
Well,
Yeah.
Andrew seems as if he was deep in thought, but not.
Who was
But
making the
not the
religion check,
usual-
by the way? Sorry. Hate to interrupt. What did you get on that?
16.
This is a temple of Lufin, god of balance. Sorry, Andrew, you were saying.
Yeah, Andrew seems to be just as if lost in thought, thinking, looking around, and for a moment freezes as if time for him has frozen. And as the 10 seconds has passed, like Dan like trips on the table and slowly stabilizes himself, shaking his head for a moment, looking around, and then trying his best to look calm,
And
which isn't most obvious, but he tries.
all right, you do feel after this vision that the that kind of like running loop of knowing makes you safe, knowing makes you safe, that's been going around in your back of your mind has stopped.
And that's all.
Yeah, that's all. At this point, Madan comes back and has some containers and some like nice secateurs that they pass to you for collecting the herb, and they give you very specific instructions because it's quite fragile. Who would like to take point on the herb collection?
It's delicate.
Listen,
Don't
you're
let me
good
do
with
it.
plans, right?
Mm.
Yes. You listen very carefully now.
Is that a pet or a druid?
Yes.
That's just mean.
Inclusive war.
Oh, sorry. This is our friend Alyssa.
Nice to meet you, Elizum, and holds a hand out to the bear.
Sifts the hand. Mm.
Raises the paw up to the mouth and kisses it. Drops it back down.
And then, you know, like, this is a brown bear, so
Yeah.
the paw is probably the size of his head.
Also, I'm imagining the bear with the flower tucked behind its ear.
Of course.
Yeah. 100%.
You get to choose which material, which equipment gets absorbed into the form, so you want to leave a flower behind, that's easy. The fun thing is to leave a greatsword in the hands of your giant ape, because then it's a one-hand weapon. Just
mean,
pick
then
up
it's
a
a
boat
dagger.
or something. Well, you just pick up a canoe or something and use it as a shield as well, you know? Alright, so, what are you guys doing? You've
I
been
believe
handed the
it's
materials,
time.
told where to go.
I imagine now that it's like we got the materials in the basket that Alison is carrying very carefully in her mouth.
Sure, yeah, we can get to that point. Carol says, like I said, a bit more of an urban chap, but, you know, I'll see what else I can find out on this end. You know, an 8-foot bastard, it should be pretty easy to find, eh?
I thought we already discussed it, but sure, yeah, it should be.
Yeah, it's a shame our search last night didn't really turn up much, but maybe I'll try a different part of town, you know, maybe they're not in Mara now.
Perhaps.
Hello. Be careful, okay?
Oh, don't worry about me, I'll be just fine.
I mean, I'm sure you will be, but don't listen to him rabble on about his stupid bullshit religion thing. And if he slams down his shield, just keep him standing there.
Hey, I've got my own religion, don't worry about me.
Is it ale?
No, it's work. The
Yeah,
toil.
remember. So basically for you, it's ale because ale is your work. Drinking.
Well, and investigating when, you know, there's some money to be had.
Of course, yes. Well, to Wildcliff, where all
Seems
the wild
like-
things are.
Don't stop too long around the academy though, you know, just trip on by. You don't want to get caught up with the students.
The academy. Is that on Wildcliff?
No, Stone Spire, it's the only thing that's on there. The big academy at the top, you know, where the arch is. You know, Academy of Nicaeum.
Well, we'll try our best to not just jump there.
Well, it's just students are assholes, you know, and I just don't want you to have to bother with them.
Understandable.
Aye. And if the arch is free passage, you know, like...
You just have to get around all the asshole students.
Aye, basically.
Yeah,
They love their pranks.
we'll be fine.
Aye, and it was this one time that they hallucinatory terrained like a whole staircase. Bastards. I know, it looks so convincing as well. It never occurred to me to think there was nothing at the top of it. You know how it is when you're just sort of looking down and you're a little drunk. And you're out with the lads and it's someone's stag and, you know, we're like, oh, we should go see if we can get a stag. And we're like, oh, well, let's go to Wildcliff. I told you, I'm an urban guy. I don't know how to catch a deer.
That sounds like a great adventure.
Well, you know, most of my stories start with, well, we were well in our cups and... Alright, go on then. I'm going to stop here with Madan and we're going to take care of a few things and see what we can find out on this end of town. Right, Madan?
Good luck on your...
All right. Thank you very much for your help, Medan.
Oh, you're most welcome. And yes, Carol, we shall have a look and see what we can find out. And there stood a little bit off behind Carol's shoulder and just given a... Alright, what's so funny?
Nothing. We're going. Goodbye.
That elf's
See you later.
weird. So, you guys trying to head to the arch and into
When we go
Wildcliff?
outside, I want to look around if there are any gravestones or any indication if there are any graves.
There are no
around.
graves.
All right.
This is not a temple where people are buried. I mean, it barely looks like a temple where people worship, you know, almost look like a workshop. Or like a, you know, information study or something.
I also imagine that this is like built into a cliff face, and so would be rather difficult to bury people there.
It's sort of perched on top of a rock outcrop, so yes, it's
Yeah,
somewhat challenging unless you're bringing a pickaxe.
There's magic for that.
Yeah, quite.
Also, even if you do manage to bury the bodies, I don't think they're going to stay there for long.
Again, there's magic for that. Stone chips are
Yeah,
wonderful.
as Alizum found out. There's magic to keep bodies in the ground. It's a bit unfortunate if you're not a body yet.
Bit unfortunate if you're a weasel trying to have a nap. Yeah.
Well, at least we solved it.
So, you guys head up towards Wildcliff and you're taking the arch across. And as you're making your way through Stonespire, it's up Stonespire would be a better way to put it, because it's a constant uphill climb, anywhere between 15 to like 35% gradient as you go up. Quite uneven ground. There's somewhat of a path, but it seems pretty underused, to be honest. Eventually you get up to the top and you can see the Academy of Nicaeum is this very, very large, almost chateau-esque building, but with a bit of a Gothic bent, given it's built onto the very point of this cliff and extends all the way down to the arch. So a very large building, sort of going from 600 feet across, and very tall as well, sort of extending the height of the stone spire. I mean, you've seen this building before. It's a noticeable part of the skyline.
It's just we're closer now.
Yeah, you're way closer, and you're like, oh, this is big, and this is really high. And you get to the arch, and you can see that it's these two triangular, again, outcroppings, just sort of meet at a point. Like one comes from Stonespire and one comes from Wildcliff. They don't quite meet, which is how the river can pass through below. so the arch is this these steps that go up to the Wildcliff triangle is much higher. So the arch sort of arches up and there's steps going up, and it looks extremely precarious, and there don't appear to be any guardrails. But the steps are like 15 feet wide, so
Okay.
you can go up 2 abreast. It's not.
This is going to be fun. I run ahead.
Yeah, but it appears to be like a
course.
15-foot by 10-foot slab has just been placed on the edge, and then another one has been placed after it, and another one has been. It's like the stairs in Lemmings,
Wow.
Like there's no support whatsoever. They're just stacked on top of each other up to the top.
Question: is anyone riding the bear?
No.
No, not anymore, I think. I run up the stairs to the other side, to Wildcliff.
When you get that close to an edge, your body kind of takes over. So I'm gonna be very slowly intense. Even though the stairs are 15 feet wide, it's still a bit.
Oh yeah, and they vibrate like it's a rope bridge.
Oh
Wow. How is this even here?
You can make an Arcana check.
Really far down.
No, I'm just questioning myself. Like, it's not about trying to know. It's more about like,
Mhm.
keeping yourself
More
safe.
It's more about keeping yourself safe.
yeah, fair enough.
Fantastic. So you guys are making your way up the steps, and right as you get to the point of actual land on the Wildcliff side, it does arch down a little bit. You do sort of reach a point and then cut back down, because I guess it would be dissatisfying otherwise. So at one point you're sort of the highest you can be within the vicinity of Yurtlaranda, and it's kind of intense. And you can, looking back as well as you're walking over these steps, you can see the whole of the city laid out. It's a big city.
Be keeping my eyes on Andrew. He just fell over for no reason a minute ago. And as soon as that happened, I think we're going over steps. I'm keeping an eye.
Sure.
Yeah. Andrew
Um,
seems to be just walking nicely. Doesn't even care for the ruckus of the stairs. He does look down sometimes, but tries his best to stay in the middle.
Mm-hmm. So you reach the point of Wildcliff, and as each of you puts your first foot onto the land, it gets noticeably colder by probably about 10 degrees Celsius.
That's a big change.
Big change. So, and bear in mind that the temperature's already gotten colder because you were climbing up the stairs like a decent amount of height as well. So, and it's windy. It's really windy. Like, it wasn't this windy when you were on the steps.
Alison's just getting more and more happy for the warmth of bear fur.
Yeah. Fur's great when it's cold.
Yeah, like bears are very well suited for high altitudes. Relatively high altitudes and cold weather.
So, you guys
Up my hood.
huddle in a bit. So, who wants to lead the search for the plant? You've been given a rough description of the area. You know it's been touched by ancient magic, so there should be. Madan told you some signs that you can look for in terms of that. You know, trees growing at very strange angles, nature looking a little bit weird, colors maybe being off, a haze above it. So you have some ways to find it. There should be a few different spots where it grows. There's quite a few points touched by ancient magic on Wildcliff.
I would look out for anything that looks like it has been touched by it.
Sure.
I will see if I can smell something weird.
All right, make a
Magic
perception check with advantage for being a bear, I think.
Yep, keen smell.
And a perception check for Featherin to see whether there's any, looking at the clouds, maybe see if there's any. I mean, that's a good face for Shelley.
22.
Nice.
I, with advantage, rolled relatively poorly, so that's only a 19.
Only a 19. Only a 19. You guys
Yeah,
see.
you know how it is with time modifiers.
I do know how it is. You guys see a point. It's about probably 2 miles off. You're gonna have to cross the river. You can see that it's the the river was a bit of a giveaway because it appears to be flowing uphill.
Oh. Oh.
Maybe we can just follow the river, and then we're gonna find a point where there's some magic that's quite strong, apparently.
That river flows uphill.
Yeah, I mean, you don't normally think to check. So,
No.
just looking around, you're like, wait a minute.
Now where's this plants and trees, a river, and
But since we are in what appears to be a zone of magic, I would like to have detect magic constantly up until I see something
Sure, yeah, I mean...
outside of the river.
Mm-hmm. No worries. So you guys are making your way. Who's leading the way?
I think it makes sense for the
The bear?
literal bear to lead the way.
Yeah, that's fair. So make a survival
Yeah.
check just to see how well you can sort of find a path for your group to make this journey.
Okay. Survival. Do I even have? Oh, I do not have that as a. You bears get survival. No. Then.
Well, you use your own mental stats as a druid.
Yes, I know, but
yeah,
I
but
get.
but if you get the proficiency for the beast, you can add that.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
proficiency. I get my proficiencies plus the beast proficiencies, but beast only has proficiency in perception.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, what did you roll?
7 plus 4, so 11.
11.
Yeah, my dice was very close to having me be a nat 1, but then decided, nah, gonna roll over.
Well, despite looking out for the sort of magical influence around, you're having a little bit of trouble navigating this landscape. It doesn't seem to follow the same rules that you're used to, and you're used to some pretty weird rules.
Yeah, this is
a third thing, you know? Yeah, exactly.
This is like I know my weird. This is not my weird.
Yeah, you know you're weird, and then you discovered what counts as normal for most people, and now you've got a new weird.
Yeah, like.
So, yeah, you almost need to be a druid 3 times over to deal with this, but you're doing all right. You lead them, lead you all to... It takes about 2 hours to reach a point where you can see the lake that this river is flowing into.
So at some point during this, I've just stopped being a bear.
Sure, yeah. At some point, you just...
duration is up.
Alison just...
Stand up, brush myself off a little.
You're just still on all fours. Yeah, bears can stand up. Like, you can just stand up and then turn into yourself.
I imagine this full of just forget about the duration thing until it's suddenly up. Then awkwardly stand up and brush myself off.
Fair enough. So you are leading the party, and you can see this lake in the distance, and so you start looking quite seriously because this lake has all of the indicators that you were told by Madan, and has a lot of potential places where herbs might grow as well. The ground that you've been traversing has been relatively barren and mountainous, but this is a much flatter plateau area that appears to have topsoil and therefore grass and things. So you can start hunting around. If someone wants to make a survival check to try and find the herb in question, which is... What is it? Philobloma naturana. That's a
I would
runa.
like to assist.
Sure, you can have advantage, whoever just rolled.
I just
16.
rolled, so I shall take my advantage, and thank goodness for that. It did make it better. Not by a lot, but did make it better.
Astar has also gone off to search, apparently.
All right.
So I now got a 7 rather than a 5.
Okay.
Incredible.
So, Alison, you are, you're doing you're looking where you would expect to find herbs. And Featherin, you're also assisting with that. And
Is it this one? No, is it this one? That's just
Well, I mean, you're not even finding herbs in some of the places that you're looking. It just like
That's-
it's a prime spot. You expect it to be there. It should be there. If you
Featherin,
looked at that spot anywhere else, it would be there.
Featherin, that's not the herb we're looking for. That's nettles.
That's grass.
Oh. Well, thank God.
Roll
for
a
gloves.
Constitution saving throw.
Oh, damn it. 12.
You're fine because you're wearing gloves.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got him.
Also, if you know what you're doing, nettles, you can easily pick nettles without gloves, without getting stung. Then again, I
Yeah,
don't
but-
know if Featherin knows what he's doing.
They. All right.
They.
Yep, yep.
As a wood elf, I suspect probably.
But that's Featherin.
Still probably. Because Featherin at some point in the past will have touched nettles to find out.
Okay, fair.
Also very true. Also, Featherin has worked as a healer for a long time.
Okay.
They would kind of know what to do.
So, Adza, you, however, are sort of just ambly, you're ambling around and you still have this in the back of your head, this constant knowing makes you safe.
It's actually knowledge.
Knowing makes you... No, I'm pretty sure that the voice is still accurate because I understand the effect that applied this to your brain, but the way Adza's brain works is not picking that up.
There is a mishap in the translation.
Your brain is just transposing ing and ledge for some reason, so I'm hoping to see that in all future things. You know, you grow ledge,
good
you
idea.
fight ledge.
Ah, yes, we're going to the wed ledge.
You guys are just fun ledge around. So you sort of shuffling around, looking, sort of going through the motions absent-mindedly, and you're just sort of idly picking plants and wandering around, and then the group kind of gathers back up, and everyone's like, oh, I didn't find any and everything, and then Adza, you're just holding a bunch of it without even really realizing.
Yeah, I'm just picking plants.
Please tell me that there's like a nice bouquet of little.
He's not really sure why he's doing it.
Please tell me it's like you just have a.
Oh yeah, it's not. It's by no means.
Piece of plant.
It's by no means
this
the
plateau.
only thing that's being collected, but it is a lot of it.
There are also nettles in there, probably.
Steve, could you make a perception check, please?
Eight.
8. All right. And
Nice strong roll.
Alison,
Yes.
could you make a wisdom save for me?
Oh no.
You're getting fucked. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Now, I'm good at these
You
saves.
should be good
that
at
means
these.
I'm going to roll fight.
Probably. I hope
Gonna
so.
go
But-
roll well.
Actually, no, that's a dirty 20.
Ah, yeah.
And before the DC is 21.
Yep.
I'm just reading the spell, right?
Oh no.
Oh, there.
As she
All
rolled
right.
and noticed nothing.
What did you roll, sorry?
20.
20. All right, good to know. So, Steve, you rolled an 8.
Yes.
Also good to know.
Cool. I'm gonna assume that Feverin was most likely to find something. Did you manage to find what we're looking for?
Nope, but I found these nettles. You can make great tea with this. Or
Well-
salad if you are of the salad type. No, you drink tea. You drink tea. I put them in my bag.
You can also boil them and make clothes from the fibers.
Also that.
Could you guys do me a favor for me while you're having this conversation?
Mm,
And
No.
just, arrange yourselves on this map here.
Oh.
Because I need to know exactly where you're stood for what happens
Before we roll
next.
initiative.
Yeah.
Oh,
could
where
you-
is-
To see if whether or not we're in fireball formation.
So if you guys can just, move yourselves
yeah,
into
will it be bigger?
how
yeah.
you were talking.
Oh, there's no
The,
two
the, the
druids?
ground is much grassier than it is.
Two druids. Woo!
Oh,
What
what
is that?
Oh, wow! Excuse me.
Bless you.
Also, would 100% just be next to Featherin.
Okay. And Adzar, is that where
I'm
you
just
are?
surrounded.
Yeah, sure, I'm good there.
Yeah, you're just still wandering off.
Whichever direction we came in from, I'm going to be closest to.
All right, good to know.
following some kind of path.
I'm going to need Andrew, Alizum, and Featherin to make a strength saving throw, please.
Oh, strength. Oh,
Literally my worst
nice.
stat. Okay.
Same.
Oh.
I'm like,
I
oh
got a
no,
six.
strength saving throw. Oh, natural 19. Nice.
Ooh.
So 19.
I rolled a 5. So that's a 2.
Oh, that's
Oh.
unfortunate.
Yum.
Okay,
That's
and the two who failed, Featherin, you did not fail. Could you please roll d8s for me?
That's a 6.
It's a 4.
So 6 for Alizum. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3. 4. You get
Why do I
thrown
see
across
falling
and
damage?
hit a bludgeoning damage. Hit a tree, take some bludgeoning damage. So those who failed the save, by the way, take 20 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
Yikes.
And Featherin, you took half of that. So 10 points of bludgeoning damage. And then Andrew, you rolled a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get thrown across there. As it appears that there is an air elemental that came from above.
Okay.
You
Good.
and your freaking elementals.
I've literally never run an elemental against you. The only elemental you've ever
Oh,
seen
the
in.
earth elementals.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot about the earth elementals.
Oh, in like.
I don't think of earth elementals as elementals. I don't know why.
And I've fought them as at least 3 different characters too. Might have fought an
That's-
water elemental before too.
5 points of bludgeoning damage to Alizum for hitting the tree.
Okay. Yeah. This is fine.
Oh.
This is fine.
And now we can all roll initiative.
Obviously.
I might want to put the initiative counter up.
Oh, I'm terribly
Yeah.
sorry. That means I have to click a button, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Oh, I know why I can't find the D20s. I haven't got my dice thingy out.
Oh.
Rack.
So just switch the soundtrack then from peaceful to combat.
Oh yeah, it's combat time, guys. Let's get ready to rumble. I'm sorry. Oh wow, these things are Dexy AF.
Mm-hmm.
How Dexy.
Super.
I know, but I probably shouldn't tell you.
Hmm.
I trust you guys to keep information that is meta to your character, or at least come up with a very entertaining reason for why they know it.
I try very hard not to meta the game whenever I'm a player because I've read the monster manual through on multiple occasions.
Well, yeah, and I also change stuff arbitrarily, so
yeah.
You
I mean, that's
I try
fair.
very hard because I can read all of the stuff in the Legend Keeper. that
yes,
I have.
which is why I have a second Legend Keeper.
This is
Dun,
why
dun,
I
dun.
don't have a second ledger keeper. That sounds way too much. So the second air elemental.
You did remove the turn order,
Oh,
The
I'm
second one, sure. Yes, that's
and we're missing Steve
That's
as he
fine.
didn't
I
make his
got a
token.
15, but I didn't select my token, I guess.
So
Yeah,
just
you need
add
to
a
keep your
turn,
token
write
back.
yourself
I
in,
got him
and
already.
key sort
He's
it.
already there.
Okay.
He's
There
there.
you
He's
go.
done. He's done.
So now just need
Okay,
key sort.
so the second Earth Elemental comes flying up at this point. Thematically rolled great on its dexterity compared to you guys, so able to just come in and sweep up to Alizum, and is just gonna sort of
This is fine.
do some engulfing, you know.
Yeah, this is fine.
And we're gonna do
Say
a slam attack. 2 of that's a natural 20 and a 23 to hit you.
That hits my AC of 10. Thank you.
Okay,
Can
so
you not kill us in one round, please?
I mean, I'm sorry, it's not my fault that like the
But
random
it
direction
is,
was
it is
directly
your
at the
fault.
other air elemental.
I mean, it's great. It just means that I will spend the rest of the session rolling up the backup character that now
exactly.
just to Clarence for
And
playing.
honestly, nothing I could do is as bad as what Tripp has done to me, because I am scarred by this man. 25 bludgeoning damage on that first attack.
Well, I'm unconscious.
Wow.
And the second attack is
To fail the is to death save fails.
yeah, that's 16 points of bludgeoning damage just in
Wait,
case.
even
it's-
I mean,
past the
doesn't
bear
matter.
form?
I'm at 0.
Just checking.
Well, even past the bear form, because first you take the damage.
Well,
from
he,
the
No,
bear.
he dropped
I'm
out of the bear
already out
form a
of
while
bed.
ago.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Took
Okay.
2 hours to walk.
The entire thing lasts 2 hours. So
I see. I see.
So,
where on D&D Beyond do I check my death saves?
having
When you have 0 hit points, it should give you
Okay.
thing.
Yeah, so I need to update my hit points in D&D Beyond. That's okay.
So, given that that's the case, now going to go and engulf Adzar as the next available. In fact, actually, the Loxodon has had no love, so going to go and engulf the Loxodon.
Great.
Just vor you, you know.
Oh no! Don't say that.
Steve, it is your turn.
Frickin'
You are engulfed by just wind. Sometimes it has a face that is shrieking at you. Do you speak Primordial?
No.
Do you speak
No, I do
Auran?
I speak common or Loxodon.
You have no idea what this voice is.
It's just wind.
It's just wind whistling loudly at you. What would you like to do?
I'm a little bit of panic. Gonna just swing at like one of the areas that his face has appeared.
Sure, go for it. Roll your attack.
Is an 18 hit?
An 18 does hit.
Okay, and I'm gonna divine smite as well.
Oh boy. Is your weapon magical?
No.
Good to know.
So that is.
I don't think we had the chance to get magic weapon.
No, but smite damage is magical.
You guys started with a magic item.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
No.
Well, no, we started with the money to buy one.
Yes.
Oh.
Did I not tell you guys you could have an uncommon magic item?
No. No.
Nope.
Nope. 100% sure.
You told us we could have one rare one, I think.
No, you only told us
No.
money and then roll for money.
Oh, true.
Yeah, I had no idea.
That
of
was the other
any-
one.
I had the one magic item, but I spent 400 gold on it.
You're right. No, I didn't tell you to have a magic item. And there was an intentional reason for that, which I forgot and now remember. So, continue on with your day.
Bastard.
Continue with dying, please.
So you rolled an
That's-
18, and how much damage? I need the damage separately. So
Specifically,
we'll say the 6 is the slashing or whatever it is.
a hammer. Yeah,
Yeah.
So a total of 7.
and
So
the 7 and the 5. The
radiant.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So 7 points of bludgeoning and 12 points of radiant.
cool. All right. You have a second attack?
I'm gonna do it again.
All right, do it again.
He did it again.
There's a 17 hit.
17 does hit.
Okay. And I'm also gonna do the Divine Smite again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna roll the Divine Smite first, so it's just separate. And then that's the bludgeoning damage. So 7 points of radiant damage, 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right. Okay, you have a bonus action you want to use?
Can I use Sanctuary on myself?
Technically,
Yeah,
yes.
of course. Why not?
Actually, I just want to just be ready for something to come in with my shield. Like, if something's going to come at me, I just want to ready my shield. Is that something I can do with the bonus action? I don't want to use another spell.
So you
No.
want to do what with the bonus
No.
action, sorry?
I just want to, like, have my shield be looking out.
Okay,
ready
sure,
for
yeah.
anything comes in at me.
That's
Yeah.
assumed default state in
Yep,
combat.
you're fine.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, your turn.
Right, seeing we have an unconscious tiefling, I'll use some healing light on her.
What's the range
Try
on
and-
that?
60 feet, bonus action.
Nice.
So I am able to use, I'll use 3. So you will recover 10 hit points. As some light, like radiant light, is sort of searing you, but also like sort of slowly warm and like good feeling as you're slowly getting cold. Andrew then swiftly does some movement to here and swiftly cast Vampiric Touch and tries to destroy the air elemental in front of him.
Okay. Let me look up Vampiric Touch very
It's
quickly.
an attack. It's a 1 minute concentration spell that I do an attack roll. If I hit, it's 3d6 necrotic damage, and I regain half of that as health. So if a 19 does hit, I will recover 6, and it takes 12
Yep.
necrotic.
Yep, go ahead. So make your melee spell attack.
I did a 19.
A 19! Nice, that'll hit. So that's 6 health you regain.
Mm-hmm. And that will be my turn.
All right. Awesome.
Yes. I'll stand up.
Mm-hmm.
From prone.
Mm-hmm.
Be very annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
And say, think I can target this grid intersection with the moonbeam, can't I?
Sure.
So that should mean that this, and this square is affected, which should hit both of those, but none of my friends. So how about a level 3 moonbeam?
Sure, go ahead.
So that is con saves for both of them.
Yep. I'm making con saves for both of them. One's a 17, the other's a 12.
12 will fail, 17 will make it,
All right.
and I rolled good on damage. That is 22 points of damage to the one who failed, and 11 to the one who's made it.
Yep.
And
More
can
shrieking.
can you make my token large as I transform into a bear? Thank you.
Or
It's a big bear.
cave bear.
Bears are big.
It's a big brown bear.
Looks so ugly.
Yeah.
Okay, and so
That's
that's
the end of my turn.
now an air elemental's turn. And it's got 2 people that it's sort of sat on top of, so first we see, because this is the...
But this one already moved.
No, this one already moved. Oh, I put the numbers in the wrong thing. I'm an idiot.
So it's supposed to be this one,
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah. So just sort that again, and one too far, but it's fine. We know it's this one's turn. Has gonna see if it can get its whirlwind back. It does. It's gonna use its whirlwind. Make a strength save, please, Featherin.
16.
16. What is your strength? You're supposed to be a.
Yeah, I just rolled really well.
But you're supposed to be like a noodle, you know? Like I should be using you like a kite right now. What's going on?
I'm not though. I'm like
It's an uncooked noodle.
nope.
Okay,
I
okay.
don't want
Fine. I don't care.
The cooked noodle is now
I'm
a
not
bed,
worried about it. I'm
so-
not worried about it. You still take some damage. Oh my goodness, I rolled really well. That is 11 points of damage to you after I've halved it.
Oh my god.
Featherin,
Yeah,
it is your turn.
this sucks. I wanna hit it with my short sword.
Okay.
You have an unlimited type hit, but
18 to hit.
An 18 to hit. Yep. That'll hit.
Did not take out any of Woo! That's a 5 plus. No one is Steve next to it?
Yes.
is
Yes.
10 type hit?
Oh, okay.
Sneak
Great.
attack.
Hey.
Again, I get the sneaky sneaks.
Yeah.
Which is another d6. So that's sorry, I'm so slow. 7 plus 3, 10 points of damage.
All right.
And then I'm gonna flurry of blows it
Mm-hmm.
and make 2 more attacks.
It's level 6 where your fists count as magical, right?
As a monk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that
As
is
a
6
monk.
monk levels.
No,
Mhm.
it's all of this is just normal. It's an 18 and a 16 to hit.
Both of those hit.
Nice. Which means I need to do 4. I was not prepared for fighting. Oh, yeah, the first one is 7 damage.
7 damage. All
Second
right.
one is 5 damage.
All right. Ha! Nice.
And am I gonna take it? It's gonna be real stupid. But I really need to go.
Maybe Step of the Wind would have been better than Flurry of Blows.
Yes, but I wanted to hit it. Yeah, I'm just gonna run anyway.
All right.
Fine.
It's going to use its reaction to make an attack of opportunity on you as you run away
Yeah,
like a little bitch.
yeah.
Oh no, bravely running away. Come on.
Bravely running
Tactical
away.
Tactical
Floor dice
retreat.
don't count.
All of this.
That's a 24 to hit you.
Yeah, I guess. Sure.
Jeez, where'd you go?
He zoomed out of the air. Zoom.
That's 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh my god, I'm on 5 hit points.
Hey, at least in the first round of combat, you were introduced to having a 45% chance of having your character laid. So-
Yeah.
So,
That's all I can do.
all right. Asdar, it's your turn. Looking around you, it seems your friends are fighting wind.
I'm trying to think what would be the dumbest thing I could do right now.
Oh no!
Hug the wind.
Walk into
pet
the
the
moonbeam?
wind.
That would be pretty dumb.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna cast Enemies Abound.
Okay. We're getting all the unusual spells today.
On this one, I guess. And they need to make what is it?
Intelligence saving throw.
Yes.
Just
Of 16.
Yes,
This
Feather?
one started its turn in the moonbeam.
It
Moonbeam
did, but we
damage.
did Moonbeam damage on the round it was cast. So
Alright.
we'll just, for bookkeeping, we'll just do the damage on Trip's turn because it's way easier.
Yes.
That is
But
a
it
natural
survives longer
3.
that way.
Sorry?
Nice.
It survives longer that way.
Well, no, it does the same amount of damage if you go by the wording of the spell. It's just harder to keep track of. So.
Yeah.
Though it should probably be done at the end of my turn because I can move it around.
Wait,
Yeah, of
this
course.
one is the one that's next, right?
Yes, it is. That was a
Yeah,
natural.
that's the one I'm casting it on.
That's the one you're casting it on. Okay, so it was a natural 3, so it fails. So it's, I don't know. What did we do? That one, I guess. It's confused. Whereas there isn't a good confused one, is there?
It's more it's more frightened, like
well,
a panic.
No.
Actually, kind of
actually,
defiant.
that's a great point. It can be. Cool.
Yeah, it succeeds if it's immune to being frightened. So I
Yeah,
guess that's.
I had to
fine.
check, but no, it just loses the ability to distinguish friend from foe, so it regards all creatures as potential targets and has to choose randomly. So that's not too bad. For me. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn, Asda?
I don't think I can. I can move back, but I'm not going to.
Oh, okay, good to know. So now it's this guy's turn. And I have to choose randomly out of all the creatures that I can see that are within
Striking distance.
yeah.
I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever it chooses another creature as a target, it must choose the target at random from among the creatures it can see within range of the attack spell or other ability. That's irrelevant because this ability targets its space because you use its whirlwind. So could I have a strength saving throw from Andrew and Steve, please?
I got an 8. I'm not strong.
Okay, if you could both roll d8s for me.
It's a 3.
Oh my goodness, why can I not roll my dice today?
Ooh.
Alright, let's try that again. So you both take 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ouch.
And Andrew, 1, 2, 3. You go flying that way. And Steve, 1,
Well,
2, 3, 4, 5.
I've lost my vampire
And
touch.
you're going to hit a bear. So if the bear could please make a dex save.
That's a 16.
A 16. All
Yeah.
right. So you don't take the damage and you don't get knocked prone. But Steve, you take an additional 5 points of bludgeoning damage on impact. As you hit, as the elephant gets thrown into a bear.
Yeah. Unfortunately, bears are not as soft as they look.
No, they really, really are not.
They're
I like
They're fluffy.
Just said the sentence as the elephant gets thrown into a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Sounds great. Elephant Man. And then it's gonna, I guess, swirl around a bunch, and then fly 30 feet up in the air because it's terrified of everybody.
So we get an attack opportunity each.
Yeah, you guys can make it. Well, I mean, Steve can make an attack of opportunity. You're no longer there.
Well, you said he flew like that, so presumably that's.
I mean, he was flying up and like spiraling
I
around.
see, I see.
Yeah, it's an air elemental. It can fly 90 feet.
Yeah,
It's
I see.
doing running around thinking everything's an enemy but has no more actions is the thematic theme there.
Does an 18 hit?
And 18 does hit.
One is might on it.
That's 7.
7 points of damage.
Yep. I've been rolling on this one. No, I haven't.
You gonna smite?
No.
Okay. He gets to make a saving throw against the spell, which I don't think is good enough. What's your DC? Asda?
Oh, 13.
13. Okay, yeah, it doesn't make the save. Okay.
Wait, sorry. What was the question?
Whenever it takes damage, it can repeat the saving throw. So it
Oh,
took
the saving
damage.
throw
So it was
would
repeating
be-
the saving throw. So I need to know your DC to see if it made the saving throw. It didn't make the
No, the
saving throw.
DC is 16. Sorry.
Ah,
I thought
okay,
you were asking
gotcha.
my AC.
Oh, that's a different question. Andrew, your turn.
Right, seeing there is a flying monstrosity just in front of me, I'll try my best to don't really have much. I know they're very fast, so not much I can do. I'll rather risk it and do Eldritch Blast at disadvantage. I know it's in melee, but it's better than Sacred against such a nimble opponent. So 2 Force Blasts.
For Eldritch
A
Blast?
16 and
Yep.
27.
Okay, both
for
of those.
22.
Yeah, both of those will hit. And against the guy next to you.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be disadvantage on those.
Yeah, that's
Oh
what
yeah,
the 16
wow,
and
yeah,
27. yeah.
wow. Sorry, I was paying attention. I was like, oh, that was an advantage because those were high numbers. But no,
Yeah.
that is how that works.
I almost critted.
You
Oh,
took
wow.
away the nice.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a bonus action still?
Yeah. Seeing Federer is not in the best condition, I'll heal, expending some healing light.
Featherin's a bear.
No.
Federer-
Sorry, not Featherin. Elizabeth. Sorry. Yes, other characters.
I'm healing
My
another
goodness.
bear?
Everybody to be a bear. That would make this
Yeah,
combat much
yeah.
more interesting. Let's play Honey Heist.
So you're level 11.
Yes.
11.
Nice. Thank you.
And that will be my turn.
Very good.
Okay. So, Steve, your turn.
So I need to get up first.
Mm-hmm.
Does the bear look rough?
The bear looks uninjured.
The bear looks uninjured. Okay.
The bear looks like it just turned into a bear.
Yeah. The bear looks like a very rough tiefling just turned into a bear.
Okay. I'm a walk up to the one that hasn't flown away.
Mhm.
As I'm walking over, I'm going to raise my warhammer above my head,
Mm-hmm.
throwing my shield on my back, saying a prayer.
Mm-hmm.
May the lessons that are shown to us take us in to greater days, and my weapons are gonna start shining.
All right.
And now it's a magical weapon.
Hooray.
And I'm gonna take a swing at the yeah.
Okay,
take a
yeah,
big
make a
swing.
swing.
And
So you're
I've
moving
got-
over to it. So where you want to
Yeah.
move yourself so that we know where you are. All right.
Yeah, that was about good. And I've put my shield on my back, so I'm going for a two-handed
Yep.
attack. And does a 20 hit?
That 20 does hit.
And I'm also going to use Divine Smite at second level.
Sure.
He's going for the big.
Mighty cool.
So this is the damage 11 from the warhammer itself,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh, good roll.
3d8 it would be. Yeah. And 17 radiant damage.
It's big boy damage right there.
That's 3d10 though.
Oh yeah, you rolled 3D time.
D8s for smite.
D8's Divine Smite.
Yeah, it's for the one smite, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. The D10 was for the.
No, you rolled 3d10 for the smite.
Yeah.
Oof. Oh, sorry. I
No,
didn't.
it's all good. You just need to do it again, but this time with the right dice so that you're not cheating, Alex.
12.
12. I mean, I like that number way
You
better.
pointed it out to him.
Sorry.
no.
I will shut my gut the next time.
So, do you want to move again, or are you fine where you are?
I'm fine where I am.
All right. Allison,
Yes.
it's your turn.
Question.
Answer.
No, wait, that guy hasn't. Does this guy take damage at the start of my turn, or if I move the moonbeam, does he not take damage from the moonbeam?
It gets a little complicated because we're tracking the damage on your turn. So
Yeah, exactly.
I'll let you choose.
So it's either he takes the damage on the start of my turn, and then like I move it, that damage doesn't apply until my next turn, or
Yeah. So because the thing is, right? It's like if we track if you don't do the damage when you cast it, then you can move it and deal damage that way. And then when they start their turn, they'll take damage again. But if if we're tracking the damage on your turn, we can't do it quite so simply. So I'll say sure at the beginning and end of your turn we'll roll damage for the moonbeam just to keep it easy for bookkeeping.
okay. In that case, he takes damage from moonbeam, regardless of what I do.
Yep. So there's
so
a dex con save.
Yep. Which is one of the reasons why moonbeam is so nice. A lot of things have good dex saves. Less things have good con saves.
That's not good enough.
That's 18 points of radiant damage.
18 points of radiant damage.
Yes.
Nice.
And if you can give me the control of the little square.
Sure. I can't because it's a drawing.
Oh, okay. Well,
where would you like to move it to? Just ping.
Just right on top of this guy.
Ping again? Oh, okay.
That guy.
All right.
The frightened air elemental, and I can move it 60 foot as an action.
Yep.
And it's 40 foot tall, so.
Sure. All right. And anything else?
Yeah, I don't want to drop wild shape, and I'm pretty happy where I am. So.
All right. Roll damage again.
Ooh, that's better damage. I like better damage. So if he fails, that's 25 points of damage.
Yep.
Ooh, nice.
Nice. All right.
Only thing that could be better than this is if they wore metal armor.
So this guy is going to try and get his whirlwind back, and he does not. So he's just going to attack Andrew.
Why me?
Because you're stood there, and the elephant looks big and well armored.
It's good reasoning.
Oh dear. Does a 12 hit you?
No.
Well, then never mind for this guy's
Should
turn.
have hit the elephant.
Should have hit the elephant indeed. So this guy's just gonna abort straight up 90 feet. So those within 5 feet can take an attack of opportunity.
I don't have Warcaster, so only a dagger. So
Sure, roll your dagger.
for
Every
one
little bit
damage.
helps.
Well, I did got a 20 for 1 damage.
Nice. And Steve, did you want to take an attack of opportunity?
Yep. It's a 19 to hit. And,
Okay.
10 damage.
All right, and you can smite on that if you want as well.
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to smite on that one.
All right, so that one's 90 feet up in the air now. Feather in it is your turn.
I will take my longbow.
Mm-hmm.
Frickin' shoot it.
What, the one in the air?
Yeah.
Go
the
for
one
it.
that
Poof in
just
the air.
straight up went
Yeah,
90.
the 90 feet one though.
Yeah, the 90 feet.
All right.
Very high up.
Yeah, that's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 will hit.
Keep rolling those.
That's 8 damage.
All right. Good to know.
I do not get sneak attack damage because I'm not hidden and nobody's near it.
Correct. They just look near it on the map. I do track the height in the little circles. So, anything else with your turn? You have a bonus action?
I
You want to run up and try and, jump 30 feet and flurry of blows one?
Yes, no. No. No.
All right.
No.
Asdar. Oh,
I will move.
you gonna move? Oh, okay. All right. Asdar.
And as a bonus action, can I attempt
okay.
to hide?
Sure. Yeah, you can attempt to hide.
Very new. Then I'm gonna move under the tree, I think.
Sure. Try and hide behind the tree. Roll your
Yeah.
stealth check at disadvantage
I-
because it's just wide open.
Wait. I just read this.
Yes, when you're
And
lightly
Mask of the
obscured.
Wild.
Yes, when you're
Am
lightly
I not
obscured.
lightly obscured from above,
Not from this guy at the bottom, no.
but from the one above.
It's October, Shelley. There are no leaves on this tree.
I rolled a natural one. Anyway.
I'm so glad we had this discussion.
Hey,
was
maybe your
pretty
total is good enough to hide from both of them anyways.
All right. This guy's going to try and get his whirlwind back. He got his whirlwind back. Now he has to randomly select a target, and
I
there.
didn't get my turn.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Asdar, it was your turn. Correct.
Yeah, I want to blast him.
Okay, sure. Blast him. Which guy? This guy? The moonbeam on him?
This guy.
Okay, blast him.
The one that's in the laser beam. Jesus.
Okay.
And one more.
Yeah, it's dead.
Oh,
Oh.
it's dead. Oh, okay.
Yeah. You see
Okay,
where this
fine.
very obvious shape in the it just disperses into just air.
And the other one just goes flying over it.
Goes through the space where it was.
Yeah. Oh no! Now it's the that guy's turn, but he's dead. So Andrew.
So, yeah, everything makes sense.
All right, seeing there's only one left alive, I'll do my best to kill it by shooting some blasts as well.
Mm-hmm.
A 12 and a 25.
The 25 will hit and kill it.
Hooray!
Oh, hey.
And if this isn't a lesson that warlocks should only Eldritch Blast, I don't know what is.
Nice.
Uh,
All right, you guys are out of initiative. The danger is past. You have what you
This
came
sucks.
for.
Let's go home.
I'm healing myself
Oh.
first.
Yep. Spend all
With
your
a nice
resources.
cure wounds. Yeah. I need some health, so. Oh, someone else seems too injured.
I'm still a bear, and the bear has not taken damage.
I'm untouched.
Just in case.
I
I'm a
went
little
last and I
but
didn't get
I'm
any
fine.
damage.
You get nuzzled by the bear.
Oh, thank you. Yes, yeah, that was not nice. I thought it would be fun, wild creatures, not unfun. Let's go home.
Great.
Yeah, let's go back.
Okay, so you start making your journey back. Who's leading the way?
I will.
Okay, are you taking the path you followed before? Or are you trying to cut off some time now that you know roughly what you're aiming for?
No, I'll keep taking the path that we'd cut before.
All right. I mean, you just walked it. It's relatively easy. Roll a survival check just to see if anything silly happens.
I want to have a look out for
There's
any
another air
creature,
elemental.
even windy ones.
It's a 12.
It's a 12. Yeah, easy enough to follow the path back. So you guys retrace your steps and you're traveling, took you about 2 hours beforehand, maybe like another hour on top of that to actually get to the lake and sort of find all the gear and have the fight and then, lick your wounds for a second afterwards and then back on the journey again. As you guys are traveling back, you're passing along this this cliff edge. You know what? I'll just show you what it looks like.
Can we
No.
take like a 2-minute break?
We're gonna stop in just a second, actually.
Oh, okay.
So.
Oh, and before that, would Elysium would allow people to ride on her during the travel, so I can take like a short rest resting on her?
Yeah, you can take a short rest on her.
Cool. Just in case, because it's help.
So you're passing along through this kind of area. There's a bit of snow on the ground here, as it's quite cold, and you're sort of passing in this kind of direction. And you can see these mine entrances. And Featherin, you're keeping an eye out. Make a perception check for me.
Can I keep a nose out?
21.
21. Yeah, sure. Make a perception check at advantage.
Love being a bear. 20.
Okay. Well, this is what you guys detect.
Oh no.
Hello.
And
Oh,
that's
no.
where we're going to pick up next session.
Manticores, right?
That looks a
Yes.
lot like manticores. I do not appreciate the amount of manticores.
I like manticores.
Manticores are cool. I've never run manticores before. I'm looking forward to it.
I have. They are
Let's get
bastards.
around and take another way, guys.
Good thing
I
we
don't
have range
it. I only
attacks.
have 16 hit points.
Oh, they.
Don't kill me.
I can heal you, don't worry.
I have a
sure,
grand-
kill Featherin. They'd like it.
Steve was leading the way. If you guys want to organize yourselves in the running order here, that would be great.
We're still tiny.
I'm still a bear.
And I'm on top.
Yes.
That is true. You
So
are
please
still
make big.
a bear. There you are. You
I
are a
would
bear.
Yeah.
not
say-
be the last one. I would try to be in the middle to be protected from front
Mm.
and the back.
So Steve
love
was
the
at the
bear
front
noises.
leading the way. We'll say the bear was behind it, and then someone was riding the
Andrew on
bear.
top. Yep, Andrew.
If Andrew's riding the bear, then should be on top of the bear.
Oh, all the people are riding the bear. Cool.
Not everybody, but I would say 2 people could ride the bear pretty comfortably.
A brown bear is
I'm
pretty
here
damn
then.
big.
I'm like
Okay, so how many people are riding the bear? Who's not riding the bear?
I'm
I'm
not riding the
definitely-
bear. I'm just behind Steve, like kind of peeking out behind
Uh-huh.
him,
Yeah.
in front
I
of
mean,
the bear, so
can-
I have someone behind me.
After
in
a
case
point on the
anything
walk, I would have
comes up.
offered you to jump on my shoulder. So I'm pretty. Could I get Theverin on my shoulder?
Not on one shoulder, but you could certainly
But
carry them in the
across
way
both,
that a
like-
kid does. Sure, like sit up there, no problem.
Just
Nice.
kind of offer to pick you up and just, just on my back, like.
Yes, please. I'm like on the ears, on the head, like looking out,
So what
resting a
even
little.
is
Power on
carrying
my head
us?
with my trunk.
Can I also get
Yeah.
a short rest if I ride the bear?
So, yeah, if you guys are riding the bear, you can get a short rest, sure.
I
Right.
assume I cannot
Sweet,
get a
I'll
short
do
rest
that
as
then.
I am the bear.
No, the bear could not get
Nope.
a short rest because the bear is
Sad.
unable to ride the bear, unlike everybody else in the world.
I'm
Nice.
not sure Steve would be great for riding the bear. Then again, bears
Yeah.
have pretty beefy carry capacity.
I'm not sure. Well, I mean, carrying 2 people is kind of rough for the people, actually. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to say that in order for you guys to take short rests here, you're going to have to make I will say just like a deck save, just to try and get comfortable enough to actually rest when there's 2 of you on the
On
back
a
of the bear.
moving bear.
Well, that 13 should probably be suffice.
Yeah, 13 will fine. It'll be fine. What's the other one? Yeah, you guys are fine. You can have your short rest.
Hooray.
Yeah, cool. So that's where we're going to pick up next week with this little situation. This was episode 3 of Lessons to be Learned, The Search. That was the title. Titled it right from the
Successful.
beginning. You guys searched and you
Oh.
were right. You found it. So,
There's something else.
We
And
searched
now
and
those-
we
Found us.
And now there's Goron Manticores.
there are manticores indeed. There are manticores.
I do
so-
not like the
Don't.
proposition of having to fight Manticores. Right
As-
now.
As someone who has no idea what these are, I can't tell if I'm relieved by it or really stressed out.
You should be scared.
Well, they're actually
Knowing
easier
makes you
than air
safe.
elemental. Yeah, knowledge is makes you safe. There we go.
They're
Um,
theoretically easier than an elemental, but they have a range.
But they
attack.
can be bastards.
They
say.
they have a fly speed and range attacks. So no, they are not.
Well, good thing we have range characters, you know?
The bear is not one of them, but the bear is.
Oh god, that's what they look like?
Yeah, they're not good-looking creatures.
I thought
Yeah.
it was like a lion, but
Yeah, well, it's
No.
like a lion if a lion had kind of a person's face and also wings and scales and a scorpion tail that throws spines at you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Deadly.
it's Manticore's not a good time.
it looks like a failed experiment.
Manticores,
is.
not even
It
once.
is.
Yeah,
It is technically a failed experiment.
Yeah, it's like a terrible version of a griffin.
Yeah, like most things from from old Greek mythology, it looks kind of creepy.
Oh, is it
Mhm.
actually from Greek mythology?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Very
At
terrifying.
least it's not a chimera.
Yeah. At
Why
least
I
is
mean,
it
it's
it-
not a
actually
it
chimera.
Greek mythology
Looks like a
for-
chimera.
No, a
I
chimera has
mean,
3
by
heads.
the definition of what a chimera is, then yes, but then
Yeah, not the classic one. Just
Yeah.
but as an amalgamation of multiple
Yeah.
creatures, yes, but that would also cover most things from Greek mythology.
Oh, Zeus.
you're not wrong.
All right.
Zeus is horny a lot.
So, how do people feel about this session?
Good.
Pretty good.
Was pretty confident I was going to die there for a moment because I forgot we had a celestial warlock.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you know
That
that
was
like,
that was
Convinced you
fortunate.
were gonna die.
because that was like coin flip. Do I live?
No, you were guaranteed to survive.
It was the throwing you directly at a tree that really sucked, you know, because you
Yeah.
rolled that out. I counted round the number of squares starting at the top, like I always do. You roll a d8 for random direction, count the square at that direction, and man,
Bonk.
that sucked. So I rolled really well on all the damage for those outer elementals as well. They were
yeah,
tanking
the thing
out.
is, even in that case, that crit would have brought me to 0, even if I hadn't hit the tree.
That's well, fair enough then.
And then second attack would have gone like, oh yeah, that's 2 failed death saves.
Yeah, I
Yep.
was really worried there.
You
So
were
yeah,
fine in the
Oh,
end.
you win for me.
I had a lovely time picking flowers.
so I'm just gonna ask, since I'm an old fart and this is the only time I'm using D&D Beyond, can I just have another character sheet on D&D Beyond just in case?
Just make another one.
Okay.
Just make a new
Just
character.
make another one and then use the campaign join link again.
Ooh, that is fun. Okay.
And then you'll get access to all of my wonderful content available on D&D Beyond. Please sponsor us. And
D&D Beyond is great.
So-
it is the best though.
you'll be able to catch this episode on YouTube and all that kind of stuff, and follow us on social medias, I guess, if you can find any of them.
Yeah.
And have a wonderful rest of whatever day or year this is. And remember,
Goodbye.
don't eat cat raw.
And knowledge is power.
Knowing
and
keeps
also-
you safe.